Hello and welcome to the All Things Arsenal podcast. We'll be talking about all things Arsenal and we're going to get straight into it and talk about our victory against Burnley on Saturday. We were away at Turf Moor. We picked up a 1-0 win. Back-to-back 1-0 wins for us in the Premier League now. Another clean sheet. And it was a performance where, it was a bit of a scrappy win, to be honest. We were holding on for a long period in the game. We scored our goal through a lovely Odegaard free kick. I think it was about the half an hour mark. And from that point onwards, we were just really holding on. We were defending. And, that's okay, but it was okay for Saturday because we got away with it. We kept a clean sheet. We got the 1-0 win, but we can't play like that in every single game. We were inviting too much pressure, I think, for them to score a goal. And there were a few chances they had where they could have got the equaliser. But ultimately, at this point in the season where it's so early, the main thing is about getting the result, especially for us, because of how bad we started. At the moment, it's all about results, and we got the result. So it's back-to-back Premier League wins. We've now got 6 points on the board. I think we moved up to 13th now in the Premier League. So, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. And, what I would say is that we can't play that way against Spurs next week. I am thinking actually about doing a live stream maybe for the North London derby. Because it's a big game, I might do a live stream. Let me know if you'd be interested in that, and I'll think about it because I think it would be good to talk in great detail about that game. So I think it's going to be a great game, that North London derby. The Burnley result, we've struggled there the last few seasons. I think we haven't beaten them in like 3 games or something. So it was important for us to get the result, which we did. And I'm pleased that we were able to do that. I want to mention the back four. Again, they did really well. They're really solid. A few shaky moments from Ben White, but he's still learning. Ramsdale, I thought, looked really good again. He just looked so commanding in the box. When he jumps up, he gets the ball, and I like the look of Ramsdale. I said it in the last podcast. I'm going to say it again. I think he is looking really good. And I think at the moment, he deserves his place in the starting lineup. So really pleased for him and, just pleased for the back four as well. Going forward, bit quiet again from certain individuals. Pepe, we were hoping to see the Pepe of the end of last season, but I don't know, he hasn't done that much this season. So that's a bit of a worry. But hopefully he'll improve. Hopefully the back four will keep at it. Hopefully Ramsdale will keep doing well. Odegaard hopefully will keep scoring free kicks like that because it was a wonderful strike. But next up, we're going to talk about our next game, which is tonight. We've got a Carabao Cup game against AFC Wimbledon. And I'm sure we'll probably be expecting a much rotated side. But I don't want there to be too much rotation because without European football this season, I do feel the Carabao Cup becomes a bit more serious for us. In the past, I've not really... I have cared about it. I care about every single competition that we're in. But I just feel... or I have felt before that because we've had European duties and obviously the Premier League, the FA Cup starting in January, I've always looked at the Carabao Cup and thought, you know what, it'd be great if we win it. It'd be great if we done well in it. But if we get knocked out early, it's not the end of the world. But I do feel that if we did get knocked out early on in the Carabao Cup, that doesn't really leave us a lot left this season. That would only leave us the Premier League and the FA Cup, which doesn't start till January. So actually, I would like to see us go quite far in the Carabao Cup this year. I'm hoping Arteta takes it seriously. I'm hoping to see strong squads playing for the Carabao Cup because it'd be a nice one to win. And, a day out at Wembley as well, which would be great, where the fans will be able to come back as well. That would just be fantastic. And I think that should be a real incentive. I know the prize money isn't great. I know it doesn't give you the same, level of European qualification. You get the playoff round for the Europa Conference League. But I still would like to see us do well in the Carabao Cup. And with Wimbledon at home tonight, I don't want to be complacent. It's going to be a difficult game. I'm sure Wimbledon will be up for it, as will their fans. But I just feel if we play a strong enough team, we should be beating Wimbledon at home. That should really be a win for us. But anything can happen in football, especially in cup competitions. We've seen over the years where there's been some shocks. We all remember Bradford beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge 4-2. Wigan beating Man City in the FA Cup final. Bradford knocking us out of the League Cup all those years ago. It can happen. It can happen. Shocks can happen. So we need to be wary of that. We need to make sure that we're playing this game like we would do in a normal Premier League game. Same intensity, same passion, and we should be picking up a result tonight and advancing through to the fourth round of the Carabao Cup. Last thing I want to talk about today is about Arsene Wenger. I've seen a news report recently published where he's mentioned that he feels that his last few years at the football club were unfairly criticised. I'll be completely honest. Coming to the end of his reign at Arsenal Football Club, I was Wenger out. I wanted him out of the club. And the reason for that is because I saw the club declining, and I don't know how to say this, but it almost feels like because he was so successful in the past, that because we were going out the top four, it was like a massive failure at the time. Now, it's it's like normality now, like we're always outside the top four. But because Arsene Wenger kept us in the top four for so long, even with like low budgets because of the stadium move and all of that, we were spoiled as Arsenal fans. Looking back, we were very spoiled, having Champions League football year in, year out, with not very much investment. And Arsene Wenger, I think, covered a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes at the football club really, really well. But because coming to the end of it, it was the same kind of results. We were losing the same way. We would capitulate all the time. And we then came out the top four. We finished outside the top four a few times. We weren't winning the Europa League. We were nowhere near challenging for the Premier League title. And then I think fans were criticising him at the time, myself included, because actually at that time the football club was going backwards, and we all felt like we needed a change to get us back in the top four and competing for the Premier League title again. So we then saw Emery come in, and I actually felt like there was change. I felt like we were going back in the right direction. I don't think it was the wrong decision to sack Arsene Wenger, because I felt like we did need a change. Did we go too early on Emery? Well, you could debate that all day long. But I think once the dressing room turns their back on you, I think it's very hard after that. But yeah, looking back now, you would say actually it wasn't actually that bad when the last few seasons that Wenger had, because he finished fifth, won the FA Cup. But for me, that's when he should have left. When he finished fifth in the Premier League, but won the FA Cup against Chelsea, that was the perfect time for him to go. Chelsea just won the Premier League. He then beats Chelsea the week after to win his, the FA Cup. I think it was his 7th FA Cup, the club's 13th. There was a record run. Perfect time for him to go, but he stayed on. I just felt like maybe he overstayed. Just by a season for me. Just by a season. I was quite happy with Arsene Wenger in 2015. We looked like we were going places. 2016, we finished second in the Premier League. But I felt like 2016 was the year we really should have won the Premier League title. Leicester won it. But that summer, I felt like Wenger was But I don't know if it was all Wenger's fault. I don't really know what happened, but we bought Petr Cech in, and that was it. That was the only signing we made. And I felt like if we'd made some proper investment that particular summer, I think 2016, it could have been us that had won the Premier League title. But because we were light in certain positions, because we didn't invest, we fell short. And second place flattered us really, because Spurs were miles ahead, but somehow we caught up with them. And 2017, we won the FA Cup. You could see we were declining. But the board decided to give him a new contract. And I just thought to myself, at that point, someone really should have had a conversation with Wenger, just to say, like, look, go out on a high. The fans love you. You know, you're waving at the crowd at Wembley. We just beat Chelsea 2-1 in the FA Cup final. Go now. Go on a high. The fans singing your name. There's only one Arsene Wenger. Just go. Just go now. But he stayed, and I think 2018, we did get to a Carabao Cup final. You know, we did get to the Europa League semi-final. But I just felt like he was hounded out towards the end. And with all the stuff he's done for the club, you know, he's an Arsenal legend. I just felt like it was a bit of a shame the way it all ended. But, you know, I have no regrets. You know, I think he was, you know, he did leave at the right time. Whether Emi was the right man to replace him, I'm not too sure. But I felt like when he did leave, it was the right time. And if anything, I think he should have probably left a season earlier than what he did. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Hopefully we'll be able to get the win tonight against Wimbledon and advance to the fourth round of the Carabao Cup. Come on, Arsenal. Let's get this job done tonight. And then we look on to the North London derby this weekend.